We are not doing the nitty-gritty things,
I mean, 1,000 doors, you can't,
but it is hard to let go.
yeah,
Honestly, physically, it is hard for me to let go. And when I see mistakes, I actively have to convince myself to let it happen and let our team members to get that experience that I already have themselves. Because if I don't let that happen, I'm gonna be always a part of that conversation, and the company will not be able to grow. It's absolutely painful for me, and
yeah,
but I know that I have to do it.
yeah. Welcome to Unfiltered, the official podcast of PropertyManager.com. I am your host, Dylan Scroggins, coming in from New Orleans, broker owner 2026, with a friend of the pod, Mr. Stepan Renc. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me.
All the way from Portland.
All the way from Portland, Oregon.
So I think of New Orleans as kind of like a Portland of the South, kind of funky, no
Yeah.
offense, kind of weird town.
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed your time in New Orleans so far?
Yeah, it's been great. Yeah. Lot of good meeting, a lot of good information. The streets are full of people. It's good to see the energy.
Well, I'm going to get you some crawfish soon.
Yeah.
So I just offered you some about 5 minutes ago, but once we go back in, we'll get your hands there, do some crawfish.
That sounds good. There was a huge piles of crawfish on the table. So
Yeah, it was awesome. Crawfish and Coors Light, man. So that's the way we do it here in New Orleans. Well, we wanted to get you on the pod again. It was one of the most popular episodes. For those who have not listened to the episode, I think it was earlier this year in January. Stepan and Longstreet are the #1 ranked property management group in the nation. They have an incredible story about buying and acquiring and taking ownership of the business only, 2 years ago?
It's about 5.5, actually.
5.5. Sorry,
Right
that was my
before
mistake.
COVID.
Yeah, right before COVID. I know that was a big part of the story. And then now, over 1,000 doors in a very short period of time. And running with a lot of efficiency as well. So it was one of our most listened to episodes, really popular. So we wanted to get you on the pod, really just kind of sporadically here at Broker Owner to hear what you're learning the past few days, how you're trying to stay at the top, and in general, just how you're enjoying the week. So just to kick us off, 2.5 days here in New Orleans. What have been some of the biggest takeaways so far? And I got a couple of follow-up questions, but let's start there.
Yeah, of course. So AI is, of course, the biggest topic at the conference. That was kind of expected. What has been the biggest eye opener for me is to find out how to be found by AI search. So that's something that has been our blind spot, something that I'm going to be definitely working on. The other topic that caught my attention was how to design the customer experience with us. And that's also going to be a part of something that we're going to concentrate on. And finally, with the AI developing and affecting the industry, there are some other softwares that we are considering, that we are looking into, namely Aptly has been on top of the list, that integrates all the systems that we have into a single place where all the contexts get put into one place. And I think that could have a great effect on my company.
Gotcha. So for those who have never been to Broker Owner, you walk into that trade show floor, vendor ballroom, whatever you want to call it, and it is packed.
It's packed.
I mean, it is booths side by side. When you're looking at that, and then just let's say you're not a broker owner, you're just on the internet and you're doing AI search for the best software in blank. Like for you, already having a really highly operational business, what's going through your mind when you're going vendor to vendor in deciding what problem you're going to solve and then who's going to solve it?
Okay. What's going through my head when I go from vendor to vendor? Mainly, is it future proof, if you will? And I'm looking at it through the lens of what can and probably will be automated in the next, not even years, but months to come, because the speed of these AI tools being implemented and rolled out and how fast they get better, the span is shortening significantly. So what used to take years, now takes months to weeks to deploy. So that is the lens that we are looking at it through. And of course, is it solving the issues that we have as a company? We're not jumping for everything. We follow EOS, so that keeps us on track, not to jump on every shiny object that is out there. And there is a ton, as you said, in the vendor hallway. There's so many options that you can implement.
Yeah, we were talking yesterday, or more so, I was eavesdropping on a conversation you were having just about your website, right? And the things that you were learning, and you don't have to share that
Yeah.
some client secrets there, but just the intentionality of what to put on the website. We always knew it mattered, but it seems like it matters so much more now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, right now we are having an issue that our website or that we are not popping up in AI search. So when people look for the best property management companies in Portland via ChatGPT or Claude, we don't pop up. That's a huge,
That blows my
that's
mind.
a huge issue for me. So we got to figure that out. And at this conference, we'll learn about strategies, how to get there, how we need to adjust our website, what needs to be there. For example, fully developed FAQ section. It would be one of the pointers, and we got like 10 of them. So that's something that we got to work on pretty acutely.
Gotcha. Yeah. So did you guard Thursday? Well, I guess you're traveling tomorrow, but
Yeah.
are you gonna? Did you block off Friday just to digest everything from broker owner, or are you just back at it?
No, we didn't block off Friday. We're going to go back. We're going to do debrief on the plane ride back. But there are some things like this one that we've already got into motion. There's nothing to wait for. We cannot wait.
Nice. Any specific vendors that have really impressed you that maybe you didn't hear of before this week?
Aptly is the one.
Cool.
That's the one. Otherwise, we've been pretty keeping our finger on the pulse of the industries. We know the people.
Gotcha. And then in regards to like the peer-to-peer conversation, I was, joining you on the lunch table today. You're having kind of a mastermind with the Shannon brothers. They're great folks, friends of the pod. We'll get them on there one day. We had some scheduling conflicts. We'll get them on soon. Talk to me like owner to owner. Like what if getting away from the vendors, but what are owners talking about together at the water cooler, at the happy hour? Like, I know you mentioned AI. What else is on the mind of these top performers here?
Yeah, I'm just actually coming from the forum of larger company owners. What we talked about is, um, how to run the company, because a lot of the people are founders of the companies, and now as they grow, stop looking at it as a baby, how to treat it more as an asset. That conversation spilled into taxes. We started quickly talking about cost segregation studies and tax strategies. We talked about staff and investing in our teams to attract and keep A players. How to do that?
Love that. Yeah, I always love a good conversation about recruiting. It's so funny you mentioned the baby because as a business owner, founder myself of a much smaller business, man, it really there is a paternal element to it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of just even my wife and I like getting a babysitter for the first time.
Yeah.
This is such a silly analogy, but to play with it a little bit, really hard that first time.
Yeah.
Eventually get used to it. But it's funny you use that word of like letting go of your business. It's not like 1 month you're running the business, everything, and then the next month you're not doing anything and
Yep.
you're in Miami like at an F1 race. But there are these slow steps to do that. Are y'all already in that position from like a team standpoint to start letting go of those things? Or is it still you and your business partner doing a lot of the kind of nitty gritty stuff?
We are not doing the nitty gritty things.
I mean, 1,000 doors, you
but-
can't, but
But it is hard to let go. Honestly, physically, it is hard for me to let go. And when I see mistakes, I actively have to convince myself to let it happen and let our team members to get that experience that I already have themselves. Because if I don't let that happen, I'm gonna be always a part of that conversation, and the company will not be able to grow. It's absolutely painful for me, and but I know that I have to do it.
Yeah, well, speaking of pain, it was painful to see just how faster you are than me. You're a lot taller in person, and at the I think it was the Mason 5K. I'm not going to ask you your time, but you were flying, man.
Yeah, I was flying for the first kilometer,
Yeah.
and then I was dying for the rest of the time
Yeah,
because the humidity that is just like something that we are not used to.
we were just hanging out with the SGA guys in the house, and I went on a 3.5 mile run today. I felt like I ran 7.
Yeah.
And it was like no elevation. We're
Yeah.
like below sea level. But I came back to the hotel and you'd have thought I ran a marathon. Oh man, it was brutal.
It's good fun for conditioning, I guess.
Yeah,
You're gonna-
exactly.
you're gonna
Well,
adjust.
we got our social hour with profitcoachingpm.com and Calmar Group in about 20 minutes. I'll probably have 1 drink and try to be in bed by 10.
Yeah,
So I might get crazy tonight and stay until 10:30.
Let's see where it leads.
Yeah, exactly. I'm probably one of the few people. My wife's like, "No, baby, go have fun. she's like, you need to loosen up a little bit, have fun. So maybe I'll get crazy and do 10:30 tonight. Well, I think for you, and once again, like it's one of the more popular episodes, people look to Longstreet and maybe more than you expect. And also folks like you that hit that 1,000 door mark, who still have their sanity, who still have their family, who still have their hair. Has it been interesting for you of being still fairly new to the game that now people are coming to you for advice and feedback and ideas? Whereas I say new to the game, it's been 6 years, but let's say 6 years ago, nobody was asking you for advice. Now you're a leader in the space. How has that transition been?
I honestly don't feel it as such or as much. Not too much has changed for us. We just keep doing it. We just keep having fun building the best property management company we can. This with my partner, who happens to be my best buddy, and it's just fun doing it. Honestly,
Yeah. See, I've never met him. I saw him last night, but I need to make a point to meet him tonight.
yeah,
So,
absolutely, great guy.
so what is the breakdown in the partnership like in regards to? Are you more the visionary? He's more the integrator.
That's
How,
right.
how does that work?
Yeah, I am. I'm the architect, culture index type. He's the tech expert. So
Culture
I
index right there.
come up with some ideas, and he keeps me in check, so we don't fly off of the handle too much.
Yeah. Was that a in check? Was that a pun? Czech
No,
Republic joke there for the listeners
not,
from the first
not
pond.
intended. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, I think having a partner is everything. I would be really, I don't even know how we would find this data, but you look at, man, some of even my favorite clients and even folks here, it's amazing how many of them have a partner, whether it's their literal wife or husband or their best friend. Once again, the SGA guys were eating crawfish, best friends from middle school.
Yeah.
It's interesting how many successful PM companies who've been over that 1,000 door threshold that do it together.
It gets lonely real quick. So it's a super hard business, and it's a business of solving problems. So you are bombarded with problem after problem after problem every single day. And if you're the only one decision maker, at least for me, it was like that. I needed somebody to be at my level, and I'm so grateful for Ondrej to actually work with me and to be my partner in this, because we support each other. We are good at different things, so we are actually a very good team, and it just works out. That's one of the best things, if not the best thing, about being in the business.
Yeah, and even being that broker owner,
Yeah.
like you're not by yourself. Well, one, it's sometimes awkward walking in there. It's like a cafeteria of PM like owners. You got to find a place to seat,
Yeah.
so you don't have to worry about that. Find a place to sit, but even digesting all the information here. Great segue. You've had a fire hydrant information. You've probably given a lot these last 2.5 days too, and not just received. Let's say we'll give you a break on Friday, so not Friday, not the plan, but come Monday, come May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, and then into June and July. Like, what are the things that you're thinking about right now? I know you mentioned the website already and AI, but like very practically, what are going to be some of the immediate follow-up things that you're going to start implementing at Longstreet simply from being a broker owner here in New Orleans?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So funny enough, our Q2 starts next week, because we have the quarters shifted by a month. We don't want to work over the holidays. Our
Genius.
Q1 starts February 1st.
Yeah.
Q2 starts May 1st. We have a rock meeting right at the beginning of the week. So we're going to discuss the priorities. What I know now already is going to be website, fix it, marketing. So we are searchable. It is going to be fine tuning the experience for our clients, mostly owner clients, but also tenants. And we are implementing some of the AI tools that are becoming available quickly. Currently, we have 3 AI agents currently working in the business in terms of maintenance response and leasing response. We are going to be rolling out inspections, scheduling semi-annual inspections, scheduling to give it fully to the AI solution and test the waters over there. And as the year progresses, we want to heavily lean into this new technology and see where it takes us.
I got a feeling it's going to take you to a good spot.
So
yeah. Well, hopefully it takes you to Broker Owner 2027. Hopefully we'll still have the van. Thing doesn't drive too hot. So hopefully Matt drives it safely. We already had a carbon monoxide scare one time this week. We've had a couple questionable guests outside the van, but overall we're still here.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
it'd be really fun to do a another follow up with you.
Would love to.
Yeah, I mean, you're just becoming like our. I didn't do well in science history class, but like we're like checking in with you every 3 months, like out in the wild.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's been awesome. Well, I've already asked you this question once, but I'm going to ask it again. Coming off broker owner, 'cause it's the last day. What is one word you would use to describe the future of property management?
That's a tough one. Last time I said tailored, I'm gonna stick to it. Because the technology will or already has allowed us to build tools that are very specific to us that were unimaginable for me 2 months ago. If I were to give an example that affects our company significantly, is we were able to build a dashboard scorecard, company scorecard that has live data being
Whoa.
fed from the softwares that we use, and that has already impacted our response time to owner client emails. The improvement, just being able to track the data and to see them and to show it to our team, we have leveled up significantly. We have created a way for our Google review process that makes it so much easier to track for our employees, and they know immediately if they are on track of hitting their targets or not. We have been able to track and improve the billability of our maintenance department just by displaying the data real time to our maintenance technicians, so they know if they are on track of hitting the KPIs or not. So we're able to create tailored tool for us. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. What can be done for owner experience, tenant experience, corporate experience, you name it. So,
well, the cool thing about what you just said is that you look on, not just a PM, but in general, people talk about AI and how it's going to make their life easier, their task easier, their everything easier. But you just mentioned your tenants first, then you mentioned your owners, and then you mentioned your maintenance department. Yet to mention you and your business partner. Obviously, y'all are benefiting from those three, but I think it's really cool and says a lot about you is that when you're leveraging all these tools, yes, you are thinking about yourself, and yes, you do benefit from those three people being happy. But I think the order to which you just even shared that on the fly, even us asking you to do this podcast like less than 24 hours ago, I think it says a lot about why you've been successful is the order of priority. So that's whether you knew it or not, I was listening, and it was really more about what you didn't say. That was super inspiring.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. We're trying to do a good job. That we're trying to build the best property management company as we can.
Yeah,
that's it.
And you've definitely become a friend of the pod, and we appreciate it. And I got to go teach you how to eat some crawfish.
Awesome, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, man. Well, thanks so much for on. We really appreciate it and wish you all the best.
Awesome.